You know, the drill. In movies, love is always this high-stakes, breathless chase. It's running through an airport.
Screaming in the rain.
Exactly. It's this overwhelming intensity that just consumes everything. We're sort of wired to think that if your heart isn't racing, if you're not obsessing, then it's not real love.
Right.
But what if that whole adrenaline rush isn't passion? What if it's just anxiety?
And that is the uncomfortable question we're digging into today. We're looking at a text called The Deepest Form of Love.
Okay.
And it's fascinating because it challenges that entire Hollywood story.
Mm.
It argues deep love isn't about intensity or that feeling of, collapsing into another person. It says real love is actually defined by stability, presence, and a word you don't hear much in romance.
Coherence.
Coherence. I have to admit, when I first read that, it felt a little clinical, like something from a physics textbook, not a guide to intimacy.
It does sound technical, doesn't it? But think of it this way. Imagine two musical instruments.
If they're both tuned perfectly, they're coherent within themselves, they can play together and create harmony. But if one is out of tune, you just get noise.
Okay.
The text argues that deep love is coherence between two people who remain coherent within themselves.
So you can't use the other person to tune yourself.
Precisely. The text is very, very firm on this.
Right.
It warns that abandoning yourself to keep someone or controlling them to feel safe, that's not love. That's just fear.
Right.
It says love should integrate, not erase. It keeps your individuality, but you build a connection.
And the author lays out a framework for this, almost like 4 pillars. And I really want to dig into these because they sound simple, but they're so hard to pull off.
They are.
Honesty without cruelty and vulnerability without manipulation. That second one, I feel like we have to pause there. How often is vulnerability used as a weapon?
All the time. It becomes a transaction.
Huh?
I showed you my pain, so now you owe me what I want. That's manipulation.
Right.
True vulnerability is just sharing your state without demanding a specific reaction.
Then there's a third pillar, which really stopped me in my tracks. Boundaries without punishment. Wait a minute. Usually when people set a boundary, it feels like a threat.
Yeah.
If you do X, I'm cutting you off. Isn't that a punishment?
That's a huge misconception, and it's where a lot of relationships go wrong.
Okay.
The text makes this crucial distinction. A punishment is designed to control their behavior. Like, I'm giving you the silent treatment so you learn your lesson.
Right, to get them to change.
Exactly. A boundary is about controlling your exposure. It's saying, I'm stepping away to stay safe. One is an attack, the other is self-preservation.
That is a subtle shift, but it changes everything. It changes the whole vibe of the relationship from a battlefield to something much quieter.
It does.
And honestly, I think that scares people. The text says this kind of love is quiet. It doesn't need a spectacle. But if you're used to the roller coaster, quiet just feels boring.
It feels boring because your nervous system is looking for the spike. We mistake anxiety for chemistry all the time.
So when that need for proof is gone, you're just left with showing up.
Just showing up.
Yeah.
The text calls it commitment without captivity. The idea is that the bond is safe enough to handle silence, distance, and imperfection without you panicking.
It's trusting the connection is still there even when you aren't gripping it so tightly.
And that leads to the ultimate goal here.
Yeah.
It's moving away from dependency.
I need you to complete me.
Yes. Away from that and toward expansion.
But that feels like a paradox. You're fully committed, you're devoted without possession, as the 4th pillar says, but you don't need them.
You don't need them to survive.
Yeah.
And that is the highest compliment you can give. There's a line in the text that anchors this whole thing. It says, I choose you not because I cannot survive without you, but because being with you expands what is already whole.
Wow, expands what is already whole. That hits hard. It stops being about 2 half people propping each other up.
And becomes 2 whole people building something bigger. It's mutual recognition. It's steady. It's accountable. It's not about finding someone to fix you. It's about finding someone who witnesses you.
So if we're rewriting the scripts, we're trading the screaming in the rain and the adrenaline for something that doesn't make a good movie trailer, but actually makes for a good life.
We're trading the rush for rest.
For the ability to actually just rest.
And that leaves us with a question for you to mull over. Think about the relationships you value most. Does that connection require you to constantly perform to keep it alive? Or is it safe enough for you to simply rest inside it?